for the Church of England. It's a nice, gentle church. Nobody actually believes it.
Richard Dawkins is one of the most well-known atheists in the world.
The very word atheism has a sort of terrible resonance to people.
Because people think
that word has become so deeply ingrained with this sort of horror.
This is Kalpun Piso. Present the facts and the psychosis, the neurological disorder nobody sees, which is God belief, the HIV of the brain. Dawkins is blind, like many other atheist intellectuals. He wears tunnel vision goggles.
Most people just don't get it.
It just means a certain philosophical position. It just means that you don't believe in a supernatural creator. It's not
reality with a schizophrenic, Chopra, cryptochartic infected imbecile, never pointing out his illness. Brain, Richard, we create thinking with the brain. Sick brains can only create sick thoughts.
With David on a day-to-day basis.
We do have...
And away from God. Do we shed tears? Absolutely.
The elephant in the room. CNN brings this program about atheism. It doesn't define atheism, the absence of God. Even Silverman or Dawkins, so all these scientists, supposedly intellectual, nobody mentions the brain. No one. Nobody mentions the imprinting period. Nobody is born believing in anything. Nobody equates the delusions, the bizarre metamagical beliefs at the core of all religions to those at the core of schizophrenias, temporal lobe epilepsy, and other mental disorders. There's no difference between believing these imaginary friends in religion and those in schizophrenia. Zero. And these people are completely blind. Religious beliefs is organized as a form of organized schizophrenia. It's one of the schizophrenias. It's a problem with the brain. It's susceptible brains. It's like when you're susceptible to obesity, you have a gene that makes you have a propensity to have a heart attack, to obesity, to all these disorders. And it's happened also in the brain. It's susceptible to different things. There's some people that are susceptible to dementia, to Alzheimer's. It's all in the genes. If a person believes in resurrecting something, we say with blood or any other imaginary friends at the core of all the religious faith, then these people are no different than people suffering from schizophrenia or other disorders. I mean, zero difference. That's what faith is. And nobody seems to see it. And they get it all in churches. See? It's the elephant in the room. Nobody talks about the brain, including Dawkins and Silverman, the atheist organizations, you know, president of American Atheists. These people are blind, completely blind. They don't realize that atheism means no belief in imaginary friends, because that's what a God is. Nobody's defining God in this program. Nobody. God is an imaginary friend or for irrational belief acceptance. That's the way I define it, because that's what it is. And it's created in the brain. A brain operation will actually prove my point. It takes some drugs and you'll see what happens. You'll see demons and angels and all kind of stuff. So I'm affecting your brain by introducing these drugs. There's your God. And there's also false memories. There's viruses. There's bacteria. There's like schistosomes that affect the way you're thinking because of all these viruses in the brain. And nobody seems to see this. Religious people are sick people. People of faith are people of schizophrenia. Nobody sees it. None of this program mentions the brain. And the sad thing is that they had no idea what the etymology of the word atheism means. These people are extremely ignorant. There are 8,000 languages spoken in the world today. They have no idea what atheism means. English was not spoken 2,000 years ago. All the modern languages come from Greek and Latin of ancient times.
Yeah.
I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
So many people won't say, I'm an atheist.
Right.
Is it all the same thing? Are these just soft?
Afraid to use the word. And what are they doing? They're lying. Wait, you want to fire?
5,000 members.
Laughable. 80% of Americans are infected with cryptopsychosis.
Responsibility to pretend to believe the lies that their parents believe.
Don't all schizophrenics and people with neurological disorders accept lies and supernatural as true?
Evidence whatsoever. There's no reason to believe in any kind of supernaturalism. And so I live my life as though there is nothing supernatural.
See how blind Richard Dawkins is? He forgets he has a brain. The brain creates irrational beliefs. And all schizophrenics have irrational, supernatural beliefs. All of them. The beliefs of schizophrenics, temporal lobe epileptic, people with bipolar disorder and all that, and people under drugs, are no different than the beliefs at the core of all religions. All religions have IFOFIBA, imaginary friend or foe irrational belief acceptance, as do schizophrenias. Richard, get educated. Why don't you study neuroscience, study evolutionary biology, and connect all the dots on all these
People
science?
forget about the Crusades. The people really believe that the Jews are Christ killers. You have to kill them. For 250 years, did that. They kill people. They forget about Nazi Germany. Very pious Christian, Hitler. See, they forget about that. The Germans believe in this Christian crap. And Hitler, I mean, it's obvious there. 6 million Jews killed. No 450 people on a plane. That's nothing. What about 6 million Jews? Why? No one mentions religious psychosis, the cancer of the brain. Everybody ignores it. Suicide bombers, these Islam psychotics, put all these, nobody mentions it. And then they said that, oh, Lufthansa does not do psychological evaluation. Well, it makes no difference if they did, because in the United States of America, they allow cry-psychotic infected imbeciles like Ted Cruz, that believe in all that nonsense, to actually become a senator. They allow Scalia, cry-psychotic infected imbecile, Supreme Court, that believes in demons and all that, to be a Supreme Court justice. And the rest of them. And it's on and on. And they allow these churches, these mega churches, all over the United States, millions of them, raping the brain of children. With the crap in this 21st century. I've been saying that ad nauseum. And these are the results. And he's not a religious, that you always want to see that it's religious, but nobody mentions the upbringing, the religion. It says, oh, the psychological evaluation. Yes, psychological. If you are going to be a doctor, you're going to be a judge. If you believe in a Jesus crap, you're believing in Muslim crap, you believe in all that shit, and you're religious, you're sick. And they shouldn't give you a pilot's license, they shouldn't give you a doctor's license, none of license. You shouldn't be able to become president of the country, senator, nothing. And see, they will never go into that. They will never go into that because a lot of these psychologists and neurologists are Christianity-infected imbeciles. The DSM-5 doesn't say that religion is a mental illness. Religion is is organized schizophrenia. It's a psychopathy. It's very dangerous. Okay? Like I said ad nauseam, I will continue making those little YouTube videos showing you the truth and showing what's going on, the problems in the world. And everybody will ignore it, but it's the truth. Okay. Why? Of course. Very simple. Why? Because he wants to be in a different life. In a different life. You know, a lot of the German cry-psychotic Germans, because they are cry-psychotic in many cases, they go in church when they're little kids, they're teaching all that the Christian crap in churches in Germany. They teach them that too. And if they're a true Christian, they convert to Muslim psychosis. So they go back and from one fairy tale to another fairy tale. And either man is a cry-psychotic, regardless of being intelligent, you know, sort of like playing. All of a sudden, he probably decided to be in heaven, in the afterlife and take 150 people with him. And to him, this is not a crime. He's actually enjoying flying the plane, and he says, oh gosh, I'm getting into paradise. And exactly the same thing like in 9/11. Exactly the way Islam psychotics. They were so happy, and when they kill somebody or they do something like that, they yell, Allah Akbar! God is great. So the same thing occurs here, in this pilot. Exactly the same. That's what's in his mind. Because he, going to church, he wasn't brought up in a Christianity-infected home. And this is what happens. Something happening in Nazi Germany. You know, all the commanders were very, very happy killing all the Jews. Killing Jews, I mean, killing babies, smashing them, and 6 million of them, and gassing them. They feel no remorse. It is good because they are the Christ killers. They have been inculcated in the brain of people for 1,700 years. The disgusting HIV of the brain, the cancer of the brain. God believe. Zombie God believe. Any type of imaginary friend believe. This is going on for 1,700 years. And the diseases keep spreading and reinforcing in churches for 1,700 years. Count the churches in the United States of America. Child abuse, Christianity. Homophobia, Christianity. Sadomasochism, Christianity. And Islam psychosis too. All religions, they are Christian, they are psychotic people. And hey, it's all in the brain. A sick brain can only produce sick thinking and sick reasoning. And this is taught in churches all the time. So we know until the religious Christianity is defined as a dangerous psychopathy, mental illness, as all religions, we'll get nowhere. The churches should be shut down, mosques, synagogues. If you are people of faith, you are people of psychosis. And it's very difficult. You cannot get rid of all this because people are already infected. You have to. It's very, very dangerous, very difficult to get rid of all these churches. And get rid of the people that they are psychotic, Christianity-infected imbeciles that believe in all this nonsense, to allow them to run a government. Look at Hitler. A pilot controls the life of all these people. He is in control of these lives flying. If you're a sick pilot, the plane will crash. Look at Bush, control of the United States of America. He screwed up the economy, got an Iraq war. Indirectly, he created ISIS. He created all these reactions, benefiting Iran, of course. And all this because we had a president that would believe in zombie Jesus and is a Christianity-infected imbecile, George Bush. This is the problem. And the most dangerous thing now is Putin. Putin is extremely dangerous. Because when you have all that power, you're a Christianity-infected imbecile, you're a psychopath, and you have all that power, you're controlling a plane, you're controlling a ship, or controlling a country. We are in trouble. This is the problem. People don't see it. I said, you want to prevent the things from happening again? Define religious beliefs are a form of schizophrenia, a very dangerous psychopathy, and don't allow anybody that is religious, or that is not overt, but in other words, that believe. It should be in the test, the psychological test, presented by mentally healthy, in other words, atheist neurologists, to give anybody a test to lawyers, to doctors, so anybody with the public service, pilots, ship captains, engineers, anyone that is in the profession. A psychological evaluation. And if you believe in a resurrected zombie that's with blood, you believe in angels, you believe in spirits, you believe in spirituality bullshit, you're feeling in these things, then you have a problem with your brain, and they would not give you a license. And they should do that to everyone. That is the reason my doctors are mentally healthy, atheists. I would not let a piece of shit Christian, infected imbecile, operate on me. Even my dentist is mentally healthy. I won't let no one, because these people are psychotic, and Christians are psychotic, Christ psychotics, and you never know when their disease is going to be full-blown. It's not like HIV positive. These are Christianity positive or religious psychotic positive. They might appear normal, but out of the blue, they blow up, and they can actually kill people. And this is exactly what happens in these situations. I have many, many samples. I've been studying this for over 40 years. Religious beliefs are a very dangerous cancer of the brain. It is HIV of the brain that nobody seems to see. This is the problem. If nobody sees it, and nobody talks about it, Dawkins, Harris, Krauss, and a lot of scientists and all that, they never connect religious belief to a mental illness, to a very dangerous psychopathy. Nobody mentions the brain is the creator of thought. Everybody ignores the brain. You're talking all the discussions, CNN with the atheist bullshit, with the finding Jesus crap, and all this ancient alien bullshit. Nobody mentions the brain. A sick brain creates sick beliefs, which are delusions, accepted as reality. IFOFIBA, imaginary friend of all irrational belief, acceptance. The moment you accept irrational beliefs to be true, all religions have them and all neurological disorders have them, then you have a problem with the brain.
Along with other factors when hiring pilots. That is Lufthansa. What about the rest of the carriers in America and around the world? What's the rule?
In the terms of most carriers, similar to that.
And see, when they give them a test, a psychological test, if they don't say, do you believe in Jesus Christ and angels and demons and sin and all that stuff, they never ask that question. Because that's considered normal. If these people are a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, believing all that crap, religious crap, they're considered okay. Well, no! That's the elephant in the room. Believe in God, imaginary friends in this 21st century as they were reality is a disease, it's a mental illness. And this is what I've been saying ad nauseum. And they don't zero on that. If you believe in all that shit and you're religious or spirituality, they cannot give you a license to fly. They cannot give you a license to practice medicine. They give you a license for anything. This is what they don't understand. The psychological evaluation is worthless. It's nothing if you are given if Christianity is not defined for the mental illness it is. And religion itself, which is a cancer of the brain, it's like an HIV of the brain. In the moment that you say that religion is okay, then you have this problem. You have time bombs. You have people that will do this. Crazy people. This is what they don't understand.
Public footprints, anything like that.
Privacy information.
If it's public, it's public.
No,
bullshit.
Nor should there be. Nor should there be.
No.
I mean, I agree what the...
No, they're religious. They're crazy people.
There are many examples of cryptocurrencies crashing planes. This one prayed. The Egyptian guy just dumped the whole thing, the plane into the ocean.
It happened on Egypt Air as well. It also happened on, is it Silky Air?
Silky Air was a disagreement about.
And there's a disagreement about Egypt as well, but my God, this has happened possibly 3 times, is it not time?
3 times in the size of aviation.
Now, and they forget, Richard Quest is English. And guess what? In England, a cryptocurrency infected nation, the Queen of England, is the head of the church. And they have all these bishops, and Richard Dawkins is also British. He's also English. So imagine, he's supposedly an atheist. You know, he was brought up in Christianity-infected nation, ruled by a Christianity-infected queen appointed by some big god to be Queen of England. And they have all the people in dresses doing all the hocus pocus in church every Sunday. How do you call that? And people, the British, a lot of them, all the cryptocurrency, believe all this shit to be true. There's reality in this 21st century. This is the problem. This is the elephant in the room nobody sees. Religion is a mental illness. Not until it is defined as such, we'll have this over and over. We'll have the same problem constantly going on. You have the United States of America infected with this Christian crap, mega churches, kids being raped mentally by churches. They have creationist museums and all that, and all the dumb, the clueless, mentally healthy atheists, scientists, don't see it and ignore it, and that's the problem.
To join ISIS ranks. Apparently the second was plotting to use his cousin's military uniform
joining ISIS.
in order to carry out an attack on an Illinois military facility. The details. The Army National Guard specialist's name is...
The religion is okay?
Edmonds. He's a U.S.
on this issue, but the reality is that without psychological training, how can you really know that someone's fit to fly? I know that there's medical training, and I know, or certainly medical fitness.
Psychological training? If you don't define believe in God, IFOFIBA, imaginary friend for irrational belief, acceptance, believing God in all this Christian crap and religions, if you don't define that as one of the schizophrenias, then why the psychological evaluation? It'll be useless. Because you can have idiots like this, very well trained and all that stuff, but believe they're Christians and they believe in Jesus and believe in all that stuff. So you're still going to allow them to fly a plane and to be hired. And this is the problem. You have to define believe in imaginary friends, spirituality, ancient alien, crap like that, religious bullshit, believing in all that stuff of the 12th century as one of the schizophrenias. A psychosis. In this 21st century, if you believe in that, you're a psychotic. And you shouldn't, they cannot give you a license to fly a plane, or to practice medicine, or to be judge, or to become senator of the United States of America. Look at the nuts in the GOP. Nobody questions their religion. Nobody points out religion, psychosis. Religion, psychosis. Religion, psychosis. They'll say religion and faith, but they never add the word psychosis to it. You should never say religion by itself or faith by itself. You say faith, psychosis. Religious, psychosis. Spirituality, psychosis. Imbeciles. The brain is the creator of thinking. Sick brains can only create sick thoughts. And religion is like an HIV of the brain. It can remain dormant, becoming full-blown when it's suspected. This is what happens.
That this person might have been mentally unstable, certainly none that were found during the...
if he was a Christian believing resurrecting somebody that said with blood and all that stuff going to church in Germany,
no,
there is a problem.
He has passed all his tests, all his medical exams. We have at Lufthansa...
Of course.
The reporting
But
system.
the question, do you believe in resurrecting somebody that say with blood named Jesus Christ, an angel and sin and all that, and heaven and life after death?
That hasn't been used.
They missed that. They never ask these people about the religious psychosis. Never.
All organs can suffer damage, including the brain. A religious brain is a sick brain, just like a schizophrenia. The schistosomes, a virus that invaded and affect his reasoning. Born a virus does that too.
Tried to regain access. There were knocks on the doors, according to the French authorities, and the door was either kept locked or not opened in the way it was supposed to be.
He might have been mentally unstable. He also kept alluding to the fact, what you guys have been talking about as well, is that he believes this is a single case that was within a framework that is actually working, that this was a single case that could have not have been prevented by the safeguards that were in place. And of course,
if all of them are Christian and really deeply believing Christians, then that's a red flag.
Of course, he also said that
that's what you should know. You should ask them.
Whether they have
to be mentally healthy atheists. If the person says, yeah, I don't believe in all that is nonsense, then you're okay.
This is really, I guess, or may not have known about this co-pilot's mental state.
Context of how they evaluated the mental stability of this co-pilot, of Andres.
Tracing his last steps over the last few days. What's the key here?
Right, all of that would be going on, but I'd like to add that the request for the FBI that just went out today, that's just a formality. The FBI's told or not shave as closely or have black boxes inside people's heads, and that's the problem. You don't...
See? Who would take a plane full of people and deliberately crash it? This relates to, of course, religious psychosis. A person that truly believes in life after death and all the psychosis of God and nonsense like that is taught in church. In church. The co-pilot was Christ-psychotic. In other words, when he was a little kid, was taught all this Christian crap. Like 80% of Americans are Christ-psychotics. And you see the Islam psychotics and all that, they truly believe, and they cut people's heads off, and they pray and they put explosives on. And these are intelligent people. Look at 9/11, the pilots, they study to fly planes, especially to crashing into the World Trade Center. And why? Because they believe in imaginary friends. They have IFOFIBA, imaginary friend for irrational belief acceptance, at the core of all religions and schizophrenia mental disorders. This is the problem. So a person like this, you still want to show it, but he's going to definitely be interested in being in heaven, where everything is there for him. And this is what people don't understand. Religious beliefs are the cancer, the HIV of the brain, extremely dangerous. And as long as you have churches, mosques, synagogues corrupting the brain of children, not everybody can fend off the fantasies that you'll have something like this. And no, he's not mentally healthy. In other words, an atheist. No, no way. Because he wants to go into the afterlife in a different way, just like Islam psychotics do. See? Nobody questions the brain. No one. In programs like the Atheists and the Finding Jesus and all the rest of the crap and all the problems, nobody questions the brain. It is ignored. Even astrophysicists ignore it. Nobody mentions it. Nobody realizes and mentions that we are nothing but product of coitus. We are the result of a collision between a sperm and egg fertilization. Nobody mentions that because it's against the Christ psychosis, sex education, all that on children. It's dirty and it's bad and it's been going on for 1700 years. It's the cancer. Religious psychosis is the result of all this. If you understand it and you connect all the dots, you realize that all these problems that happen like this is thanks to religious psychosis. It's a cancer of the brain. The HIV of the neural array that nobody seems to see, it lays dormant inside your brain. And it can become full-blown. And then you have problems like this. That not immediately realize that this person is religious psychotic. You won't see that immediately. But if you start digging and digging, the FBI is digging now about this, you'll start realizing it's all due to religious psychosis. But they will never mention religion. Never mention the upbringing of this person. Never.
Keep in mind, God belief is a dangerous neural array HIV.